Gamers need to start being careful, and I say that because we've seen this sort of stuff time and time again. And with what we're about to talk about in the video happening to Battlefield 2042, especially around the holidays, I have to put this video out there. I have to warn everyone. Just be careful with what you're doing, what you're buying within games, because at the end of the day, all the big companies that release games don't care about their players. They never have done, they never will do. They're giant corporations and they're just in it to make money. So an example I can give of me being screwed over, and this is just one example, it's happened hundreds and hundreds of times, but that's why over the years I've learned to become way more patient when it comes to games. The only reason I'll rush out and buy a game and pay a stupid amount of money for it is because it's part of my job to cover games, whether they're good or bad. But yeah, I do get screwed over way more than the average person. The example I'm going to give is Just Cause 4. When that game released, I spent £80 on the biggest edition of the game, and then I think it was around a month or two after it launched, Microsoft go, boom, Just Cause 4, Xbox Game Pass. So that was £80 down the drain. £80 might not be a lot of money to some people, but to some people, that's a hell of a lot of money. But with Battlefield 2042, it's not just the fact that players have been screwed over again, it's also the fact that you have these content creators that only make positive content, or it's constructive content. They won't sit there and tell you the bad side to a game because it's going to stop them being part of EA Game Changers. It's going to stop them getting sponsorships with EA all the time and things like that, because there are a lot of content creators that are also just doing YouTube for the money. There's also some people that could sit there and say, well, you do the same thing. You sit there, you create videos for views. Yeah, obviously, any content creator that gets a decent amount of views will try and do it for the money. But there are some content creators out there that just do it for the money, whereas I do it for the passion of gaming in general. I also make videos and warn players about scummy practices within companies because I don't want people being screwed over by these corporations. It's not just about the money for me, it's about the community as well. When I talk about content creators that just promote positivity and all that sort of stuff, the one example relating to Battlefield 2042 is Level Cap Gaming. And the reason I bring up Level Cap's name is because there was a tweet that went out from Level Cap, and I responded to the tweet, wasn't rude or anything, just simply put my opinion out there, and the response is probably never going to be seen. But Level Cap put out about controversy surrounding the discount that is currently attached to Battlefield 2042. The base game has a 34% discount at the moment, or at least at the time of me recording this. I'm not sure when you guys see this video if the discount is still going to be there. But on Level Cap's tweet, Level Cap decided to put, is this too steep a discount? And instantly it just hit me. Why would anyone in the world ever question a discount being too steep? The thought shouldn't even cross someone's mind. When you're a gamer, even when you guys are at a supermarket, if you see something discounted, it's going to encourage you to purchase it. But then for the person, the consumer that's purchasing the product, the bigger the discount, the better. And in some cases, this will backfire on a company that releases a discount, because if you see a discount that's really big and it's close to the release of the product, you start questioning as to why they've actually discounted it so quick. And I just wish it was the case for more and more people seeing that Battlefield 2042 has a big discount close to its launch. And once they see the discount, they can have a look at the reviews on Steam and they can see that it's barely above 30% positive. So they can look at the reviews, see what people are saying, and then make a better educated decision as to whether to buy it or not. Why do you think so many free-to-play games have a huge audience? Because they don't have to pay anything to download and play the game. So questioning a discount being too steep on Battlefield 2042? No, not at all. I would say the current discount is around the right sort of price for this current time, because the game is still fresh. But if anything, I'd say that the discount isn't enough. And that's considering the technical state of the game, the lackluster, mediocre gameplay side of it. When I say that, I'm talking 22 weapons across 7 maps for a £70 game. But on Steam, you have, I believe it's 19% off the Ultimate Edition. So instead of £100, it's £81. Then it goes up to, I think it's 23% for the gold edition. But then the base edition, the standard edition of the game, is 34% off. So instead of paying £50, you're paying like £33. And this is a month after the game launched. And there are a lot of players that are moaning about it because they've been screwed over. They've paid full price for this product. And just 4 weeks later, it's on sale. So a couple of bits of advice is when a game releases, don't just jump into it because you love the company, because you love the look of the game. You have to take a lot of different things into consideration, like the amount of red flags there were for Battlefield 2042. 2 months before the game released, they were still only showing pre-alpha gameplay. With their tech tests, you had players complaining of bugs all over the place. I actually think that when the game launched, it was in a way worse state than those tech tests and betas and stuff. And I think after major updates, the game still isn't in a good state at all. It's getting better, but that doesn't mean it's good. Another thing to take into consideration is every single year, without fail, EA run a holiday sale. So Battlefield 2042, I would say it's pretty much inevitable that it was going to get a discount within a month of its launch. So just take that in mind, like bear it in mind when you are purchasing games. Think of potential upcoming sales. Think of the launch price and how much you could save if the game was discounted. It's all about just not going into a purchase blind. You've got to have a little bit of patience if you want to save money. And the best example I can give you for patience, like especially in my personal experience, when I was younger, one of the GTA games released. I can't remember exactly which one it was. I think it was GTA 3 or something like that. And it released, and I was begging my mum to buy me this game. I was absolutely begging. I really, really wanted this GTA game. And my mum said no, because it had its retail price. It was far too expensive. And then all of a sudden, about 8 or 9 months later, and bearing in mind the game was probably about £40 brand new or something. 8 or 9 months later, my mum goes to a shop, and she finds this GTA game that I wanted. And it was £4. So she picked it up for me. She saved like 90% of the retail price. I had to wait almost a year, granted, but she paid 90% less than the asking price. But what actually happened when my mum bought it? She come home, gave me the game, I opened it, you got the map in the case and everything, the game was there, but underneath the game, there was another game. There was a Mortal Kombat game in the case for this GTA game. So not only did my mum save a load of money for me to still get the experience I wanted, but I also got a bonus on top of it. I got an entire extra game because I was patient and I waited. And my mum waited for the right time to buy it. But that was £40, or roughly that sort of money back then. Now we look at games and you're talking £60 for standard on an old generation of a console. You're talking £70 base on games now for the current generation of consoles. You're talking £110 on Xbox for the Ultimate Edition of Battlefield 2042. So I would say, just be a little bit more patient, figure out the time of year, say it comes out in April, there could be, I don't know if it's late April for Easter, there could be an Easter sale. If you're talking Star Wars, if you think around May 4th, because everyone says May the 4th be with you instead of May the 4th, and typically you would have something happening with Star Wars, whether it's discounts on the game. The red lightsaber got added to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on May the 4th. Take other factors into consideration when you're buying your game so you don't get screwed over. There are people that sat there and paid £110 for the Ultimate Edition of Battlefield 2042, and 4 weeks later, they could have got the same product officially from the Xbox store for £20 cheaper. The base edition of the game, they could have saved almost £20. Players are getting screwed over, not just because companies are rushing discounts, especially to try and bring in extra money, but because they're being far too hasty. There's absolutely no patience when it comes to buying games, especially the big AAA titles. Not only that, Steam has a free weekend running. So people are going to download the game, they're going to try it for free. If they don't experience any issues, if they have a fun time, they're going to purchase it. They're going to save themselves money because they were patient and they waited. I mean, the game shouldn't have a free weekend at all, but because they are running one, it's also screwed over players because it's only on Steam. There's no free-to-play weekend on console. But that's the sort of stuff you see within these AAA companies, these big corporations like EA. They're going to do anything and everything to try and bring in more revenue, because that's how their companies thrive. They don't care about the players, not at all. They just know that the players are going to buy the game, have fun, or sit there and moan about it, but ultimately they've still got your money. So with Battlefield 2042, players have been screwed over by not only is there a free weekend on Steam and Steam only, but there is also a sale across all platforms that is making the game around £20 cheaper for every single edition of the game. So to end the video, my bit of advice, be a little bit more patient, don't be so hasty, look for red flags, even possibly just wait a couple of days until after the game's launched, watch some gameplay from other people, and just see if you still like the idea of it. I'm not saying take a content creator's word and, oh, this game's good, so you go and buy it. Still make up your own decision, make up your own mind. Still pre-order the game as the biggest edition. Do whatever you want to do, it's your money. But I'm just putting a warning out there, just don't rush, like my opinion, don't rush into a purchase, because you could watch 5 different creators, whether that's Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and one of them that's your favourite could show you this fantastic gameplay because they've cut all the bad parts out. But the other 4 will show you actual gameplay that's full of bugs, and they will save you from not only wasting your money, but having a bad experience that's going to cause you headaches. You're going to get stressed. You could throw your controller if you fall through the map on Battlefield or something like that. I would say just be a little bit more patient when it comes to games, because at the end of the day, the companies behind them don't care. They couldn't care less about the players because they're still making their money. But on that note, we're going to leave the video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.